chat. I'm just coming out now.
With your newbie friends.
No, it was like Goose I was speaking to.
Oh, he's not a noob.
He's old.
He's old. He's an old man. How's all going, guys? Anyway, all right?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I'm going to watch Blade Runner after we record tonight because I originally tried watching that film a couple of times and I got bored of it.
Oh, the first one.
Now I'm old. Yeah, now I'm older. I'm going to try and get into it.
Sorry. Blade Runner's one of those films that's
how rude.
It's all right. It gets more hype than I think it deserves.
That's a good film, man.
It is a good film. It's very. I mean, for its age, for '82, it is really well done.
I think when I was like a teenager and younger and stuff, I was literally expecting it to be more action-packed and stuff. It was like when I watched Platoon, and then I think it was a month later, I was like, oh, people keep going on about Full Metal Jacket. And then I watched Full Metal Jacket, and I thought it was a load of shit, because like, it's so boring.
I can't remember Full Metal Jacket. I remember Platoon. So yeah, it was William Dafoe, wasn't it, in Platoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, Willem Dafoe and Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger.
I still think Apocalypse Now is better, though.
See, I've watched parts of Apocalypse Now, but never all of it. I've watched like the beginning bit and the end bit.
Oh, okay. You got to watch the I think it's a Redux, I think they called it, because I've got it here, well, somewhere.
I think that was the one it was, where they added some extra scenes, because I remember the bit when, I can't remember the beach landing where they're playing like Ride of the Valkyries, and then the two blokes is like, Bob Thingy, you're like fucking champion surfers, aren't you? Go out there and give me some fucking waves or something.
That's right, yeah. You got the girls with the helicopter. That's it. That was the director's cut. That was all missing. Yeah, go on.
We're on a time limit tonight because baseball's on. It's very important.
Oh, did you guys see the fucking that thing that I posted in the group a minute ago?
Yeah, I've just retweeted that out to the world.
Fucking unreal, mate. Are people that
just finished making dinner? I have to leave it. My door's recently.
No wonder people keep giving that fucking company just prints money off idiots. I'm sure of it.
Mate,
although they're going,
people spend their money on microtransactions, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
It's going to take me about an hour to write my list out.
I just realised why you guys were so quiet, because I had the volume turned down on my phone.
That's all right. Come on, computer, work.
Right, are we ready?
Yeah, I'm going to have to start using the other computer.
Is Alex not coming on? What about Phil?
Phil's here.
Phil's here, mate.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
oh, yeah, there. First time I've heard you speak. Sorry, mate. I was probably just chatting shit for you.
Phil's a lurker.
Hiding in the shadows.
Yeah. Right, so we'll go me, Phil, Stunty, Darren. Darren, you've got You've got a 5-game limit, mate.
5-game limit. Well, I'll be able to chip in on, because I know a lot of us have played some of the same shit, so I'll be able to chip in on quite a bit of that.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, you ready?
Indeed.
Okay. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Hello and welcome to Mojo Radio, episode 434 for Sunday, the 8th of October 2017. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamer tag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby317, and joining me on this fine evening is...
Urban Big P.
Oh, it's me, isn't it? Yes, number one Stuntmaster, sorry.
It's still too hot. It's Sensei Switch.
Oh, fiddly dee. How's it going, Phil? We've not seen you for ages.
No, it's been busy on a Sunday usually. Usually I'm down with the missus. And no, she's...
You're going down with the missus?
Going down with the missus.
Okay.
Well, it was last night and this morning, but...
Start off the show as we mean to go on.
Yeah, just Sundays now haven't been great for me to record, but this week works, so...
Good. So, it's not going to be a very long show this week, and apologies for not recording last week, but we were busy. So yeah, I need to keep this as short as possible this week because the baseball's on and it's a really important game. So if I'm very quiet for some periods of the we probably are actually. So if I start swearing at random times, it's because we're losing. Anyway, I'm going to go first for once because I normally don't go first. So I'm going to talk about my games.
Right, today you finished then, yeah. Right, next.
Right, so, and for those of you who are watching on YouTube, I'm not going to be putting any videos in this week's stream because my second monitor has got the baseball on, so I apologise for that. Anyway, yes, I played a few games this week. First one, I've been going back through my back catalogue of games, and I actually finished a game this week which I started playing in March.
Blimey.
And that was Mass Effect Andromeda.
Ooh. God, that's so old, that game.
I know, I felt like I was playing a retro game. I tell you, it's that old. Really, really enjoyed the ending. I think this game gets a bit of a bad rep, really, because I think a lot of people focus too much on the bad animations that were in the original before they patched it, and that was the main focus on the game and not really the actual gameplay and the storyline itself. And yes, when you're doing the quests on the planets, it does drag on a little bit, but you don't have to do all those side quests. So I just got into my mind, I'm not going to do all these really shitty side quests. I'm just going to bang out the story and that'll be me done. And to be fair, I'm really glad I've done that because it did take me about another 10 hours this week to finish off the game. It took me about 30 hours in total of playtime to finish the game. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. It was really fun. Apart from the last boss was a bit shit, but yeah, it was good fun.
The characters have just got there's no gel. It just don't. I mean, going back to Mass Effect 2, which is always to me is the best one of them all. There was this whole sense of togetherness, and you got on so well with the characters. There's none of that in this one. You've got a wooden character, I feel, and everyone else around you is wooden. The story was just I don't know. I just thought the story was just a bullshit story.
Was pretty cool. It's the way that they've travelled to this new system and they want to obviously colonise it, but there's some plot twists as to why they're really there, and it gets pretty cool. But I do understand where you're coming from because the original Mass Effect trilogy for me is a great trilogy, one of the best trilogies out there, and I love my sci-fi. And one of the most fun parts for me on those games was doing the loyalty missions for my crew because those stories were really interesting. And then obviously you port some of those characters over to Mass Effect 3 if they died or not at the end of 2. And it was really, really good. I really enjoyed Mass Effect 3 as well, and I do feel that this game was pushed out too early. It was a little bit rushed, not as good as the other games, but as its own game on its own, it was still a great game. It was still really. It was
the B team, wasn't it, that did it?
Yeah.
I was told because the A team that did Mass Effect actually went on to do. Didn't they do?
Anthem.
They're doing Anthem, are they? Oh, right, okay. Yeah. So if Anthem's a disaster, then hopefully it's not. So
no, I think Anthem will be good, but I'm trying to do a stunty now, and it's a real struggle of trying my hardest to not buy any new games and to go through my pile of shame and do that. What's it called? The year of living gamelessly or something.
Yeah, but I didn't. Yeah, but that didn't work with me, did it? It lasted for about 2 months, and I quit, didn't I? How long? How many days has it been since you last bought a game?
20 minutes.
About a week, I'd say.
Right, okay, so what we do is every week we have the how many hours has it been, Webby? And we'll just see how long you can last because I bet you ain't last long.
Yeah, I mean, there's some big games coming out in the next few months. We've got South Park, we've got Assassin's Creed, we've got Wolfenstein,
Mario.
It's going to be I mean,
Duty.
The games that I can get on my PC are going to be the hardest for me not to buy. I think because obviously they're cheaper and it is that temptation of it's only 20 quid, I'll buy that. And then
it is bad though.
Yeah,
I know what you mean because I'm just as bad. I mean, I buy games. I try and I don't try to buy stuff brand new these days. I try and wait until it drops, even if it's a tenner off. I will then pick it up. Apart from Destiny 2, that was the only thing I did buy. But it's like Yakuza 0 I bought. I waited until I got that for 20 quid, and that was a £45 game. So I'm trying to hold back on buying it day one on certain stuff. I mean, Wolfenstein I will get, but if you can even just save 20 quid, I just think that's better than full price 45 or whatever the 50 quid they are.
I think and for me, it's always social media is the big issue, because everyone's like, a new game comes out and everyone's like, oh, this game's really, really good, oh, it's amazing, and then you just like sitting there in front of your computer like, oh, these people are saying it's amazing, I really want to play it myself, and then you crack.
Yeah, like Destiny 2 did.
Yeah, but then a week after it's out, no one's talking about it anymore, so you just got to kind of last that 1 week until the talk dies off, because another game will be out that people are talking about. It's like when the Xbox One X comes out next month, everyone's going to be talking about it for about a week, and I'm going to be sitting there sweating, like, oh, I really want it. But, I'm going to be curled up in a ball in the corner, like, I want an Xbox, and my missus will be comforting me, going, Mark, it's okay. It's like, I'll be like, I want an Xbox One X, and there'll be no rationale into why I actually want it. It's just because it's new, it's shiny, and a load of people I know have got it. So I'll come round with a black box with an X on it and give it to you. So you go, there's your Xbox One X. Yeah. So because I'm adamant, I'm not going to get one. I've been told there will be a divorce if I buy one, so I can't get one anyway. They will drop in price. I guarantee. Yeah. Give it 6 months, and they will be half the price they are. Well, not half price. I reckon it'll be $350.
Pro ever dropped in price?
No, but I think it will drop in price shortly after.
Oh yes, it will.
It
will drop. But Sony are going to watch what Xbox One X is going to do before they do anything. Well, they're redoing the PS4 Pro anyway, haven't they? Because it's Really? Well, no, it's not. They're not changing anything on it. They're just changing the internals on it. I think most probably the usual scenario. Either the production line gets an issue where they can't get a certain part, or they found out a way of doing it cheaper, which is what Sony always have done, haven't they? What they need to do is redesign it so it doesn't look like a fucking sandwich. That's what they need to do. Yeah, they're funny, but to be honest,
it's under my telly. I can't really see it really, but it's not an ugly piece.
No, and one of the main reasons why I would want a new Xbox, not saying I'm going to get one, is just for the fact of it's got an internal power supply, so you don't have the big brick. Because that's a bit
awesome.
And obviously because it's smaller. But from my point of view with the new Xbox, I don't have a 4K TV, so it's kind of the point is mute really.
And you have a PC,
and I have a good PC. But I think the time will come in the next, I'd say, year or maybe just a bit further on that I'll be like, right, now's the time, because my launch day Xbox is just getting a bit old and it needs to retire or something. So we'll see. It'll be 350 then. Yeah. Or 300. I would say Christmas next year, they'll do some cracking deals on that machine. They really, really will. So if you can hold out till next Christmas, that's perfect. Well, you think the original Xbox came out and it was $450 with Kinect, which realistically should have just gone in the bin. What was that? Yeah, but what was? Sorry. Yeah, it was. It was 430.
He's watching the sport.
Yeah, it's 450. So what was it a year later? It was 300, wasn't it? A year later, wasn't it? Without the Kinect.
Yeah, but you don't need, I mean, the Kinector's a load of shit anyway. You know what I mean?
They don't even make it anymore. So.
Yeah.
No. So what else have I been playing? Anyway, Cuphead.
Yes.
How is this? Okay, because I haven't been really playing Xbox for about the last year and a half, but I renewed my Xbox Live Gold for the first time in about a year and a half yesterday. Got some EA access, so I'm going to be looking forward to play Battlefield 1. But how is it? Because I'm interested, but I hear everyone saying it's really difficult.
Well, I'm really enjoying it, and call me crazy. One of the reasons why I'm enjoying it is because it's so hard. It's challenge.
Not hard.
It's a challenge.
Dude, like I'm on the second island now. And the last boss is like a big sunflower boss. Took me an hour of just... it took me about 20 goes. And I was getting really fucking pissed off. But as soon as I'd done it, I jumped in the air. I was like, yes, fucking beat this bastard! And it was just such a great feeling. And the graphics are great. It's just, it's 15 quid. It's worth the money. It really
Okay.
is. Sorry, Switch.
I mean, yeah, no, I was going to say, like, going on about the whole difficulty, it's just the fact of everyone today is so pampered with these, like, games we save anywhere and all this stuff. I mean, like, for the last couple of weekends, we'll probably talk about it later on, but a friend of mine bought his mini NES up, and, like, yesterday, like, mini SNES, sorry. Then yesterday I set up like my Neo Geo X and we was playing through loads of stuff on that, like Last Resort and like Alpha Mission 2. Those games are rock solid. You get absolutely pwned. And especially on like Last Resort, you die on that game, you go right back to the beginning of the entire stage. Doesn't matter how many lives you've got, you just go right the way back. So that like it just doesn't hold your hand, which is what people are actually used to. And then people are all of a sudden thinking it's like really difficult, but it's not. It's just taking it back to the games that we used to have back in the day. But even then, it's still reasonably forgiving compared to some games.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't talked about the mini SNES yet, have we?
No. I mean, let's finish Cuphead first. Yeah. I mean, my impression of Cuphead is, I mean, to be honest, the first game I've actually bought an Xbox for most probably over a year, and actually first time I've actually turned the Xbox on for a while. I mean, my daughter plays the Xbox, but I don't play it at all. But I enjoyed the game. It is hard. It's a very Marmite game, so I can see a lot of people putting it on, playing it for 10 minutes. The thing with Cuphead as well is it's not like with some games where it'll start quite easy for you and it's bang on, you get, I think, what's it, three bits you can get into, and that's it. You've got as many goes as you can before you think, oh fucking hell, I can't get on any further than this. So automatically, a lot of people are going to be like, shit, now I can't play this. It's too hard. But if you actually persist with it, you work out the patterns of the players. There is a 2-player mode on it as well. Because I mean, I played with my daughter because it was quite cool. Because we were doing. I was working out a certain thing while she was shooting, so it gave me a bit more chance to work patterns out and the rest of it. Graphically, it's awesome. It looks a really great game. Why was it delayed so long? I don't know.
Because it was all hand drawn.
I think it's a very, very small development team as well, of only like a handful of people. And what they've created presentation-wise is gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks absolutely stunning.
Sounds good as well, doesn't it? So,
yeah, the music, the sound, it's just so, like, it does really put you in that sort of, like, time period of it and everything, and you can't help but be, like, almost in awe at the whole sort of presentation of it.
Yeah.
How many difficulty settings are there?
2, and one, the easy one is the one that most probably all of us are playing, because God knows how you play on.
No, I play it on regular, and I'll tell you why I play it on regular. And that's because if you do the bosses on easy, you don't actually get the contracts to get to the devil. So, doing it on easy first is good, just to kind of learn the moves, because they do them all a little bit slower. And there's certain moves that the bosses don't do, but you need to play it on regular to get the contracts to give to the devil at the end of the game, otherwise you don't finish it. So.
Right, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, there are extra phases as well in the normal version that you don't get if you're playing it on the simple mode.
Oh.
What was that?
What happened there?
Sound like someone dropped their drums.
Hang on.
We all alive?
I'm still here.
My microphone came out of the stand.
Moving
it.
Still sounded
closer
all
to my face. Yeah. So yeah, Cuphead I'm really, really liking, and it's a great little game, and I think anyone who owns an Xbox or a PC should pick it up, because it's also available on Steam, same price. So it's also Xbox Live Anywhere, so if you buy it on Xbox, you can also play it on your PC as well.
Yeah,
so that's a cool little feature. So
that's good.
But I would look at some gameplay before you actually dip into it, because you might buy the game and think, shit, I've just wasted 15 quid on it. Or you might have the opposite, where you might think it's the best game you've played. I mean, to be honest, I'm really enjoying it. I haven't played it actually for a couple of days. I need to get back on it, but I've had so many other things to play. But I'm pleased I bought it. So.
Does it remind you of like the old school left to right shooters, that like platformers like that used to be challenging back in the early
sort
90s and stuff.
Like from playing Metal Slug and stuff over like yesterday and everything, it was just like you can see where they've taken a lot of inspiration from it. But it's not all like say side-scrolling platformy ones. You've got certain levels where you're like in little biplanes and stuff like that, and it sort of turns into like an actual shooter rather than sort of like a platform shooter and stuff. To sort of break it all up.
Right.
Yeah, so we did briefly touch on the mini SNES because I forgot that we didn't record last week. So since we last recorded, the mini SNES came out. I've got mine. I've not hacked it yet to put the other SNES games on, but I will do that when a decent one comes out. Because I did that with my mini NES. I've got every single NES game on my mini NES. I've even put some SNES games on it, and they run fine. The insides of the mini SNES are actually identical to the mini NES anyway.
Yeah.
So the same hack is pretty much has been confirmed to work. But I'm waiting for a stable release so I don't brick my little system.
There's one on there now today. A guy called Tootie UK.
Okay.
He's a friend of Alex. He put a video up this morning how to hack the SNES, and it's pretty much like what it was on the NES. And he was playing Pocky and Rocky on it this morning. So
nice. Yeah, so it works.
So
and the thing I like about it is it comes with 2 controllers and not one, like the mini NES, so that's good. And the controllers feel exactly like the old SNES games, and they've got a really great selection of games on there.
Top drawer selection,
mate. Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
See, that is one of the ones I wouldn't have had on there, to be honest, because technically it's not really a Super Nintendo game you instantly think of.
Oh, it is for me. That's one of the first SNES games that I think of. I used to play it on the SNES all the time as a kid. So that's.
It's also one of the ones where I think the Mega Drive version was a little bit better.
I have no idea, mate. I don't
know. Yeah, Super Castlevania 4, F-Zero, stuff like that. Can't beat them. Just
Mario Kart's on there. Mario RPG.
Oh, talking about Mario Kart quickly. I put Mario Kart on with my daughter. And we played it for about 5 minutes, and my daughter said, "I can't play this." I said, "Why? What's the problem?" Because every time I move the controller, it doesn't actually turn the car. Because she's grown up with Wii culture, hasn't she? So, and that was it. She said, and I was first in all the races, and she was 5th or 6th, and she said, "No, I'm not playing this anymore."
Loser.
Yeah.
No, I like it. One of the letdowns for me with the mini SNES though was playing Star Fox. Because it's just so laggy.
It was pretty much one of the very first games to use polygons, though.
Yeah, like the frames on
and when you consider it was
it's just like
when
really
you consider
janky.
it was on a 16-bit machine as well, it was quite the achievement at the time, definitely.
See, I never played it on the SNES. Like the only one version I played is the N64 version, which was absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
So
yeah.
On this, it was just like meh, not bothered about it. But I don't know if how much I'm going to play the RPGs on it, because I can pick up the RPGs on other systems and play them, you know. But it's
I don't know why you bought one, to be honest.
Because it looks cool on my shelf, mate.
I was going to say it looks great just as a collectible to have, sort of a thing. Like it's no bigger than a CD case, really.
Yeah.
And it is great to pull out, like when you have like a mate over or whatever, just do some just for some retro, just for some nostalgia, mate. You know. It's a cool little thing, and I really like it.
Yeah, one other thing I will big up on it as well is I don't know how the mini NES was, but obviously I set up the Neo Geo X last night. Obviously that connects to your TV and everything through HDMI, but it only gives a 480p output even through HDMI, and it doesn't look fantastic. And you haven't really got the options, because when I was on obviously the mini SNES, you've got like the options to put like little pictures at the borders to the sides. You can change the size of the screen. You can put like CRT scan lines on the picture. You can make it super crystal or pixel perfect. I just love the fact of all the little options and stuff you were given with it as well.
Yeah,
like really, it's good value.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know how easy they are to find. I mean, I know eBay's full up with them because about everyone I know bought them to flog on. Everyone I know that out there that I've got friends or whatever has been buying them to flog on. So, yeah.
I know they've had more stock in them with the mini NES, because I know I've seen Game tweeting that they've been getting some back in stock and stuff like that very recently. So,
and I know Tesco's. There was a guy I know that he actually put a picture up of Tesco's, and it had a whole trolley, and it was full from top to bottom of mini SNESes. So they are. Yeah, no, he didn't buy them. No. They were actually they were going out to be sold on the shop floor. I was like, blimey.
Oh right, okay. I thought you were saying some dude filled up his trolley to buy
no
on eBay.
No, like the big trolleys you used to. Yeah, you used to see people. Yeah. So, but I don't know. I mean, I've got a feeling they will still run out of stock of these things when it gets closer to Christmas.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. So, who knows?
I mean, not being funny, they'd make a perfect stocking filler, wouldn't they, or something?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Under the tree jobby.
Mm. They just a quick thing, before we move on to SNES. I must admit, I do quite enjoy the way it comes out, and the instruction book's the same as the original, and the way everything's put in the box and the rest. It's very cute,
neat,
and
neat as well, isn't it? Yeah.
And do you know what I find really funny about the SNES as well? Obviously, there's a lot of people that didn't grow up in that generation or didn't really follow gaming news, and the amount of people going, "Oh, I didn't realise the American SNES looked so ugly," and then the Americans going, "Oh, I didn't realise the Europeans had a cool-looking SNES."
Yeah, the Japanese and the European ones are pretty much identical, and the Americans had the box one. Yeah. Although in my youth, when obviously the Super Nintendo was a thing before it released in Europe and everything, owning the American one was a bit of a privilege because you obviously got the 60 hertz versions of games, and it looked different. You were like, mine looks different to yours, so it was a bit of a sort of thing. But I mean, obviously, if you're a real collector of stuff, like say someone like Alex loves his Nintendo stuff, I can see him wanting both versions of the mini SNES.
Yeah, well, doesn't
the game's slightly
the American versions?
Well.
They are the same. We had this conversation. The American version is the same to the UK version. It just looks different. That's all. Because even I would be interested in it, but as it's got the same games, it doesn't really make any.
Yeah,
because the X. Sorry.
Because I remember one of my friends having one of those double cartridge things that goes on top of his European SNES, and he used to.
Yeah, I got one of them.
To buy American games, and you'd have the European game, well, the UK game, and the American game in this slot, in this double slot thing, and then it would run the American games.
Yeah, I got one of them. There's also another thing they did for the SNES, which is basically a thing you put on the top, and you can actually put discs in as well. You know, floppy discs.
Wow, that's pretty
awesome.
Yeah, what I want to know is, are
it's called now. Stashed somewhere.
Yeah. Will the American controllers be like the same? Because the X and Y buttons were indented on the American version.
I think they're the same as what the American ones were from the pictures I've seen.
Yeah, because I think it was just so when you weren't looking at the controller, it was easy to know which buttons were what, because some went in, like indented, and then you knew they were the top two and the bottom two were standard. Whereas on the Japan European ones, they were just the 4 different colours, all the same type of button.
Yeah, those weird purple ones. Yeah,
they do look indented. I'm looking at a picture here. Someone's hacked one, the American one, and the purple ones do look indented. So they could be different, but we'll find out. We have to ask an American person that's got one. So.
Okay, so a few more games that I played. Pinball Effects 3 came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to start doing a tournament again, like we did in the old days on the old pinball games.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should start doing one. So, what's one of the tables that comes with it? We'll do one of the original tables for a tournament.
I can't remember.
It's usually Dan's the person to ask on this, isn't he? Because he loves them all. Loved all of the ones back in the day.
I think you'll have to get Dan on that because I can't remember. I mean, I have installed it, but I haven't actually looked at it, to be honest.
Well, shall we start the tournament from next week then, so we can actually get a bit?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure what table. Because I'm not sure if Pinball Effects 3 actually comes with any tables or not. Because I just imported all the tables from the old version.
That's cool.
So,
yeah, you do that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, pretty awesome. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking the graphical advances that they've done from Pinball Effects 2 to 3. And you have to give big props to them as well for letting you import all the tables you've purchased on the old version and bring them into the new one as well.
Does it upgrade them like slightly, or are they the same?
The newer versions.
That's sweet.
And also, if you've got a PC, you can re-download those tables on the PC version as well. So they're very, very good. Because I remember back in the day, you could import, if you had a 360 or a PS3, you could import your tables from the 360 to the Xbox One or the PS4, etc., which is pretty cool as well. So, yeah. It's pinball, man. It's awesome. New game came out as well, Forza 7. Anyone else been playing this?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to say I haven't, and the reason I say I've not bought any games for a while because I didn't actually buy this. Amazon fucked up my order that I cancelled and sent me it anyway.
Nice.
So, yeah, so that's pretty cool. I won't go into the ins and outs of it, but yeah, so I didn't pay for it. So that's awesome. And I've been rinsing it, mate. It's absolutely fantastic. I've been playing it on both the Xbox One and on the PC. Obviously, the PC version is fucking awesome to look at. It's gorgeous. The Xbox version is also good looking, but also, obviously, the extra for the PC, it looks a lot better. It's the most fun Forza game I've played, discounting the Horizon games, because obviously they count as a completely different game, really, because they're open world arcade. It's the most fun Forza game I've played since 4. Because 5 and 6 were a bit shit, to be honest. Really boring, not really any soul in them. Whereas this has kind of brought that back, has brought that soul back. And I've actually been playing it quite a lot online with a few people in the community as well this past week, which has been really, really cool. I say the graphics are absolutely stunning. And the handling on the cars is just, it's great because I played Project Cars 2 the week before Forza came out, and it was just handled like dog shit. It was just too simmy for me. And Forza, I think it's in that nice middle ground where it's not an exact simulation. It's not exact simulation, but it's not arcadey either. It's a bit of both, and it's just a perfect meld for me because it's challenging, but not throw your control at the screen challenging, if that makes sense. I think with these games they get the balance just right, and I'm really enjoying it. Unfortunately, I wouldn't suggest getting the VIP pass because it gets you fuck all in this one, and also
they've actually like Microsoft have actually listened to the bad feedback that people said about the pass, and they have actually rescinded it. So this now acts like the VIP passes did back in the day.
Oh, that's good.
So,
then. Oh, that's good to hear.
So they've actually listened to that, but they haven't obviously done anything about the loot boxes, unfortunately.
So obviously, so as Switch has said, there is loot boxes in this game, but you only buy them with in-game credits, which you earn at the moment. So which is pretty much pointless because you want to spend your in-game credits on buying cars. I can see in the future them opening it up to spend real money on these loot boxes, making it like
they said that's why they're basically there.
Fucking pointless. I would not. It doesn't really give you much anyway. The loot boxes, I don't think. It just gives you like XP boat boosts and extra credits for winning races and shit.
The main complaint people have with them is they've locked all of the race modifiers behind these loot boxes. So before you could be able to like race in the wet or at night and stuff to earn yourself extra credits. Now you have to use these race mod cards that are in the loot boxes.
Right. So but obviously I'm playing through the kind of campaign at the moment. So that kind of defines whether the race is going to be anyway, depending on
well, not only that, I always found you earn pretty decent money. I mean, I haven't played any of the Forzas since 4. So the always online thing with the driver tars. But you always used to earn pretty much decent money anyway to a certain degree. And if you want a bit of extra money, just do an extra race. It doesn't take long.
Yeah. And one thing that I am going to give big props to for Microsoft with this is the cross-play between PC and Xbox works seamlessly. I've been in party chat using the app on my PC, talking to my mates on the Xbox, and I've been racing them from my PC, and they've been on Xbox, and it's worked fine. It's been great. So it's just opening up another platform to cross-play with. Just opens up more players to actually be playing the game online, which I think that's a great thing. So yeah, it's great. Just moving on then. A couple more games. I've been playing Divinity Original Sin 2 on the PC. Clocked in quite a lot of hours on this now.
No doubt.
Fuck me, this game is absolutely brilliant. I think this will come to consoles because the original one came to consoles. It's fucking hard, and there's so many different things you can do in the game, and so many different secrets. It's kind of an isometric style, kind of how you look at the Diablo games. And it's 4-player co-op, and the 4 players can just go and venture off and do their own thing in your game if you want. You don't have to stick together. So that's really, really cool. So I'm looking for people to do co-op with on the PC. And it's just so open-ended. Like, so you start off the game on a pirate ship, and some quest stuff happens, and you end up on this like prison island, and so you need to escape the island. And I escaped the island by rescuing an elf who was in this cage and killing loads of people. And then he said, "Oh, there's a secret cave under this bush over here." So I went in here, and different perks give different things. So for one of my characters, I purchased a perk called the Pet Perk, and what that allows you to do is talk to animals in the game. So I went into this cave, and there's all these like rats running around, and these like giant monster things going around, and they look really scary. So if you went in there, normally you think, "Well, I'm going to fight these things." So I went in there, and one of my characters just starts talking to these monsters in the thing, and they're saying, "You know, we don't want to cause any harm," because they breathe fire as they walk around, and it's because they just breathe fire. That's just what they do.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, you know, this is our home. You're welcome to come through." So having that perk in itself just saved me fighting these monsters, so I could get through.
That's
quite
really
easily.
cool. I have heard that is one of the best things to get in the game, because it opens up so many more possibilities.
Yeah, it does, because after I escaped the island, I read a guide, and there's literally about 20 different ways you can escape that first part of the island, like by doing a variety of different things. You know what I mean? And that open-endedness is just great, and I love the fights as well, because they're turn-based, and I love turn-based battles. So for me, this is kind of a dream game, and the fact you can do it 4-player co-op as well is just fantastic.
Awesome.
It really is.
Yeah, and you're not all stuck in the same spot either. You can all separate off, do your own stuff.
But so if I get into a fight and you're kind of like 10 minutes away somewhere else, and I say, "Oh, Switch, can you come and help me with this fight?" Obviously, it's turn-based, so I can just wait for you to come and help me, sort of thing, as well. So
if you can survive that long, isn't it, by the time I get there?
No, but it's turn-based, isn't it? So they won't attack me until I've done my turn.
Oh, right. True, yeah.
So it's really, really cool. There's so much charm and character in this. Like, everything's voiced in this game, and you meet just random characters, and there's so many side quests, and it's been voted actually as the best RPG of the year already, and a lot of reviews have said it's the best RPG of all time. So
when you think about
it really is.
A lot of the RPGs we get nowadays on sort of console and even PC to a certain degree, as great as Skyrim was, they have stripped away a lot of the actual role playing of the game and made it more of an action base. There's less of a, like, you think like going to the proper old D&D tabletop stuff where it was all in your paper, and you had the paper in your pad, and it's all in your imaginations and stuff. Like, the stuff you could tell in that type of game compared to something that's already laid out, like a Hero Quest or something, it's like black and white.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like the game version of that.
Yeah, so because this game doesn't hold your hand at all, and it is very, very tough as well. I mean, I've died countless amount of times in this game, and had tried different scenarios of getting through like fights and stuff. And there's very few quest markers in this as well, which is good and bad, because sometimes you just don't know where the fuck you're meant to go. But
discovery.
But it makes you explore more, as I say, and you discover more things. And the characters in this, like, one thing that really stands out to me is the dialogue choices when you're talking to people.
There's like loads, isn't there?
It's fucking nuts. It's crazy, and as I say, it's all voiced as well. So it must have been a hard slog to make this. So it really, it is one of my standout games this year. It's absolutely fantastic. And if you've got a PC and you love RPGs, then I say you're onto a winner with this. And I can see it coming to console next year, because obviously they brought the first one to console. So, yeah, awesome stuff. I'm gonna stop banging on about that now. Obviously, I've been playing a lot of Zelda on the Switch as well. I'm up to my second Divine Beast now, if that means anything to anyone.
All right, okay, getting there then.
Yeah, so I've done the one at Zora's Domain, and I'm now up to the one in the Sand Dune place, and I had to pay this dude 600 rupees to get into the fucking town, which pissed me off.
That's a bit of a tax, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it the old London emissions tax?
No,
or
I had to
whatever?
sneak into town dressed as a woman, so I had to buy female clothes for 600 rupees. Spoilers.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but I'm just loving exploring the world. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just doing as many of the shrines as possible to get my hearts up, because I really want to get the Master Sword, and apparently you need 13 hearts minimum to get that. So that's my objective at the moment. But yeah, I'm just plodding along with that. But the one thing I'm loving about Zelda is very pick up and play, because obviously you can just save it wherever. So you can pick it up, play it for like even 20 minutes, put it down, not play it for another 3 or 4 days, and pick it up again and carry on. So, you know, it's very enjoyable. So, okay, last 2 games I've been playing. PS4, I've been playing the Wipeout Omega Collection.
Yeah, I saw
Did you buy that?
Maybe.
All right.
I have to say, because it's got all 3 games on there, the best one is 2448 by far. It looks the best, it plays the best, and it has the best music. It's awesome.
And the studio that made it was shut down shortly after making it.
Yeah, one of my favourite studios of the late 90s. Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. It looks absolutely stunning. They've done such a good job of remastering this game. It's unbelievable. So if you've got a PS4, pick it up. It's on sale. Do it.
Yeah, I don't know if it sold well. I must admit, I've not heard much about it. I mean, a few people I know have picked it up, but I mean, I played it. It's a good. Yeah, it's great. But the only problem is my eyes can't keep up with it these days. It's too fast paced for me. So
I love it, and when the music podcast, right.
You were talking to us about Golf Story.
Yeah. So, what was I saying? I just want to make sure the stream's up and running again. If one of you guys can test it, that'll be awesome. Yeah. I'm just going to do a countdown. Can you guys load up the YouTube just to see?
Yeah, I'm doing it now.
Because I can't do it because it will echo on mine, so it'll sound really shit.
Yep. Oh, there it is there.
Testing.
Testing.
Mm-hmm.
Testing. I'm just waiting.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, is it fine? Because it's still running?
It's fine.
Right.
Yeah, it's still running.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Sorry about that. Internet, Virgin, you suck balls. Golf Story on the Switch. I wasn't going to pick this up, and then I read some really cool reviews, and I was like, fucking hell, this looks awesome. And they're right, it's absolutely great. it was the first time actually last night that I took my Switch to bed with me just to carry on playing the game.
That sounds weird.
Yeah, and it was Golf Story. It's got so much charm. It's like you're in this little village, or this town thing or whatever, this golf specific town, and it's a proper RPG where you got to go and talk to people and do quests, but it's all to do with golf. And then you go to these little golf courses and you do these little golf challenges, and it's about you trying to become the best golfer in the world and winning tournaments. And it doesn't sound great, but it plays fantastic for a 2D kind of 16-bit game. The golf plays phenomenally well. It's super fun. And the challenges are fun, and just the story in general. It's just got so much charm to it. It's one of those games that if you've got a Switch, I recommend you get. It is so fun. It really, really is. So, Paul, buy it. You don't have to take my word for it. Look at the reviews, mate, and look at the YouTube videos and stuff.
The trouble is I haven't got enough time as it is to play games, so let alone the Switch.
Yeah.
With Zelda, so realistically, until I finish Zelda, I'm not buying anything. Well, apart from Mario, that's it. I'm not buying anything else for the Switch. So because I want
not even Fire Emblem Heroes or whatever it is when it's out.
No, I don't like the look of that because that's another Dynasty Warriors game, isn't it?
It might be one of the last traditional Dynasty Warriors type games we get, though, unfortunately.
I wanted a Fire Emblem turn-based one. That's what I wanted on the Switch, but there we go.
That'll come.
Yeah. So, but why'd you say that? And why would it be the last Dynasty Warriors?
Because they're taking it open world with the next game.
Right.
Yeah, it looks weird. So far, we've got less characters, worse graphics, biddy animations. I don't know what they're fucking playing at, to be honest with it. I'm not impressed with it at all from what I've seen.
I might pick it up.
They're regressing.
I might pick it up because it's like if it's like Hyrule Warriors, then I quite enjoyed that. That was quite cool, even though I never finished it. But I did play quite a lot of it. But I'm going to wait for a price. The trouble with Switch stuff, it's so bloody expensive.
Yeah, it is. But this Golf Story game's like £8.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
no, but as I said, I won't. I'm not. Mario, I've bought regardless. That's
yeah, that's fair.
I want to finish Zelda. I've never finished the Zelda game. I need to finish the Zelda game before, because otherwise, I'm going to go mad.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I'm a big game collector, and I haven't finished the Zelda. It's embarrassing. So,
mate, you need to get on it.
Well, yeah, but the problem is been buying lots of other things. So, is it my go?
Yeah, so I'm actually done. That's all the games I've been playing. I've actually.
Not.
What?
You go ahead, Stunty. You work away. Doesn't matter. You work away, Stunty.
You'll join in when we talk about what you've played anyway.
Yeah.
Well, okay, all right. I'm eager to go this week. I actually will start with something that's not my main purchase. Actually, this will get Phil involved, and this is a game that I'm really enjoying this game, and it's Fortnite. The Battle Royale.
Ah, fuck off.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think it's fucking ace.
I've only had 3 quick games on it. I haven't really delved too deep into it, but yeah, after what I played of it, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's basically a total rip-off of Fortnite, Webby.
Thanks, mate.
It's
Player Unknowns, don't you mean?
Yeah, it's a rip-off of Player Unknown. But I just think it's brilliant. I just think it's great. It's, I mean, I don't know. I can't really. I mean, it looks like Fortress, a Team Fortress game, graphically wise. The servers work. I haven't had any problems. I've had one lock-up with it, I think, where I was halfway through a game. Well, actually, I wasn't playing the game at that point, and the game just froze on me. But otherwise, it's been, I've been getting into games great. I haven't won. I've got to 9th, and do you know what? Okay. Do you know what's embarrassing? Is my daughter got 2nd.
Nice.
Yeah, right down to the very tiniest of little bubbles. Because basically, just to give you what happens, it's like PUBG, which is basically you start in a world, 99 people drop into this landscape. After about 2-3 minutes, the world starts to shrink inwards until eventually it will shrink into whoever's number 1.
So, Can I just put my point of view across on this?
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's put over 80 hours into PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
I know I've played this type of game quite a bit. So, I heard about this and I said they can't have actually properly copied PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. They couldn't have done. So I downloaded it on my Xbox, and as soon as I loaded it up, I was just like, oh my god, they have actually copied it. Down to the waiting lobby before the game starts, and the game starts, and I was just like, this is like PlayerUnknown's, but crapper.
Yeah, no vehicles, though.
So if you actually played PlayerUnknown's, you would not want to play this, because it is literally a poor man's version of PlayerUnknown's. It really, really is.
It's a different version, though. Is it? PlayerUnknown is the original is an armor mod anyway, so basically it looks like a real world, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where this is more of a kiddie style, Team Fortress looking. All the characters look weird, and bodies are out of shape.
I didn't like it. I did one game, and I was just like, I have to delete this. It just looks shit. It plays shit. I'm firing up PlayerUnknown's again. Fuck this.
See, for me, I haven't got PlayerUnknown, and I won't buy PlayerUnknown because it's 30 quid, where this is free. So this is perfect for me.
I suppose the interesting twist that this has over some of the other types of the Battle Royale-esque games that are out there is the fact that you can build your own cover and your own sort of like hideouts.
The squads, I have noticed quite a few people, my friends, have been playing it, but I haven't actually got into any squads. I've just been playing it on my own. They have added drops to it as well now, a bit like Rust.
And team mode and team battle, you can go in as teams as well.
That's
I think.
right, yeah. So I'd like to do that.
Only in certain countries, though, I believe. I think some countries are still exempt from that, which is a bit of a shitter.
Yeah, but I enjoy it. I mean, to be honest, I quite fancy playing the main other part of the game as well, actually, at some point.
The better part.
What?
The better part.
What? I can't hear you. So, but I mean, I don't really play multiplayer games these days. I mean, I don't, as in, I dip in every now and again, but I've dipped into this and I quite enjoy it. And even if I'm not playing, even if I've died and I've got to like, I don't know, 10th or 20th in the world or something like, in the game, sorry, I will then continue watching the guy and see if he is actually any good. It's really disappointing when they're not. So you think, oh, fucking hell, he killed me and he's shit, So, but Big P, we have to get on this if you're around.
No worries. Yes, certainly.
Squads. I noticed there's a couple of other people, as I say, are playing it, and it's free. Download it. It's on Xbox and PlayStation.
And PC.
And PC. To be honest, for the PlayStation, we're going to get this. They're getting PUBG for a while. Speaking of PUBG, did you hear the thing last week? The old. The developers actually pushed the thing out to say, we might actually put this on the PS4, i.e. hint, hint, Microsoft, give us some more money so we can keep it exclusive.
Yeah, I heard Microsoft were trying to get more of elongating the exclusivity deal, because I think they have said I don't think they have said it's an outright exclusive to Xbox, just it's coming first to Xbox.
Yeah, it's only a timed exclusive.
That's right, but I did like the way they pulled that out, though, which was quite interesting. Let's see if we can get some more money out of these bastards. So, but so that's Fortnite. I actually bought PlayStation VR.
Ooh!
Oh, yeah. What about?
Tell us more.
Yeah, well, the story was I was talking about it last time I was on the podcast, as in I was hunting for my camera, and I couldn't find my camera.
Can I just interrupt briefly?
Yeah, go on.
Do you really appreciate the way that a week or so after you bought your PSVR, they've announced the version 2?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like a slimmed down version with like less leads, and you can now have run the HDMI through like another box or a way that you can have HDR. Otherwise, you'd have to disconnect your VR headset. But I don't have mine connected all the time anyway.
Yeah,
it's a way to do it.
So, I mean, I didn't buy it brand new. I bought it second hand from our favourite place in the world where everything that goes in there normally looks like shit.
You give it a disinfected wipe before you crack it on your head.
I've got a little story, actually, which was quite funny, because I went into CEX and they had two in the window.